And for more on all this, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, a Fox News contributor. So you heard a little bit about that Wall Street Journal piece. I just want to read one more piece to you from that. This is Biden deferred so frequently to other lawmakers that much of the conversation didn't include him. Some people who attended the meeting recalled. When questions came directly to him, he would turn to staffers, they said. You couldn't be there and not feel uncomfortable, said one person who attended. I'll just say that. You've been in a lot of meetings with presidents in your time in government. Your reaction to this story that is really pretty explosive this morning?
Well, Dana, I say this with no joy. These aren't just private conversations where we can see that President Biden is no longer up to the task of being the commander-in-chief and keeping America secure, but we see it in the public speaking that he does as well. He can't follow a teleprompter, like basic skill sets that every leader of the free world needs to have. We can see it in how he interacts with people. He has these moments that just look like he's just getting older and that his faculties are not all with him. I'm counting on our commander-in-chief to have the skill set, the mental acuity to actually deliver for America. And I think we can all see with our own eyes, we don't have to rely on the Wall Street Journal or anybody else to see that there is this real risk. And Dana, I'll close with this thought. You know, I've been traveling a bunch these last few weeks all over the world. Leaders across the world can see this as well. They can see that when they interact with President Biden, that he is not able to follow the through line of the conversation entirely. That's not good when you're thinking about the fact that we have two wars today, a Chinese Communist Party that is moving out. This is an enormous risk to the United States of America.
Yeah, it's interesting you say it that way because you have to think that our European allies, if they don't already see it, they're going to see it on this trip. And we were watching the president get off the plane. He looked fine, but then when you go down the line, you realize he's older, and that's what these stories reflect. And they're going to see that for themselves, and the word spreads across the continent, probably in a way that it hasn't just yet. All right, Politico writes this. Foreign policy now becomes a liability for Biden's campaign as he heads to France. Even Democrats sounding alarms about foreign wars hurting Biden in November. That's Ukraine, that's Gaza. Think about the battleground cities for the New York Times that they put a poll out several weeks ago. And Donald Trump clearly has a lead on Joe Biden in foreign policy. And Ian Bremmer points out, if this election is about foreign policy, Biden loses.
Bill, when Ian Bremmer is saying that President Trump is going to win because of foreign policy, you know it must be true. He and I don't often agree on a whole heck of a lot when it comes to how to keep America secure. But, Bill, your point's very well taken. Not only will our allies see this, and I'm sure many of them have seen it already, but our adversaries can sense it as well. They can see that he's unable to make decisions, to work long hours, to do the things that, Dana, you would have seen this when you were in office as well. These are tough jobs that are literally 24/7 activities, and the requirements, not about age, it's about the capacity, the energy, the mental focus, the energy that is required to deliver. And our adversaries are sensing this as well, and I think that's why you see Vladimir Putin testing us. You see Hamas now continuing to hold on to hostages in the face of America trying to restrain Israel. And you can see the Chinese Communist Party, North Korea, each of them saying this may well be the moment that we can press our advantage against the United States of America.
Well, let's hope not.
Yesterday, sir, the House Judiciary Committee had Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, on the hot seat. And one of the things they talked about is this interview transcript between Biden and the special counsel, Robert Hur. And AG Garland talked about cleaning up the Hur transcript. This is call for number 5, if you guys could pull it up here. Basically, the White House is saying that they're not going to release this, and they're saying that through the Attorney General. Watch.
Is an accurate transcript is accurate with the exceptions of us and ahs and repetitions of words like I and. And he consulted with Mr. Hur, the special counsel, and with the FBI agents in the room who agreed who created the transcript and who agreed that it was an accurate transcript.
Just get your final thoughts on that, sir.
The American people deserve to hear the president's conversation. They've not released the transcript. Why you can't release the actual audio of it is odd, very odd to me. It's clearly the case that they're trying to protect something that's there, how it sounds, how he spoke. Maybe this is connected to the same issue we've been speaking to. But I think the American people can sense, the political article you referred to talked about foreign policy not being on the top of people's list. I think that's largely true and properly so. But the mood music, the mood, the American people can sense that they and their children and grandchildren are less safe today because they have a president that can't handle that 3 a.m. phone call, that can't deliver the security that the American people need, and has now gotten us into 2 wars that did not have to be. We could have deterred these bad guys, and we simply failed to do it.
Well, maybe that ad comes back. Sir, thank you for coming on today.
Great to have you.
We'll speak again. Mike Pompeo.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you very
Dana.
much.